Before I ask you about the best players, in your opinion, I want to talk about a few topics. Um, there's been a lot of conversation first about the Harbor athlete, the Calumet athlete in basketball. You know, you had the opportunity of growing up in the Harbor side as well as Calumet.
Yep.
Just give me the difference in the Calumet athlete and the Harbor athlete as far as basketball wise.
Well, first of all, there's really, in my opinion, growing up in my time, it was more, you know, I think the Harborside kids did not play as often as the Calumet side. I don't know now because I don't follow the two sides, but um, for the most part, when growing up in my days, we had 151st Street Center. We played constantly all day, all night. We had Riley Park. I mean, you name it, every city from high school player from Gary or Hammond, they were always coming to Calumet to get a good basketball run because the competitiveness was always there. You were always going to be challenged on the court. Some of our best players didn't get a chance to play at Chicago Roosevelt because of uh, various reasons, because they couldn't make grades or whatever, or they just did choose not to play. Um, the Harbor had exceptional athletes as far as, to me, during my time, they were more well-rounded as from a student aspect because either they were like Freeman West, guys, late bloomers, came around later, but end up becoming a successful individual as far as what he's doing now. And in high school he was one of the kids that came around later, but ended up being exceptional athlete. Um, but I always said that the drive was always there in Calumet because you were always challenged, you pushed mentally and physically by older and younger guys to be better. Um, as far as the other side, I couldn't speculate on anything and say, being on the other side, I was young, I wasn't pushed like I was there because, I don't know if they, growing up in a boys club, you weren't pushed like that because you always had somebody compared to being on the streets in Calumet or being in the boys club in the Harbor. You always had a chaperone up there saying, hey, don't swear, don't cuss, don't push, don't fight. Where in Calumet as a kid, you were always challenged. And there was no one there to chaperone us and tell us they don't push, don't fight, don't cuss. It was always, hey, I'm a challenger, I'm a challenger. And I think that sometimes can be just a small difference, not a big difference. And, it all depends on what's in the individual, how good do you want to be, how much work you want to put in. And in the Harbor, you find it now with each one doing exceptionally well in school now. I commend him on being an academic All-American. Uh, People don't know how difficult it is, but this guy is being a student athlete, traveling all the time, missing school because of that, and be able to maintain a 4.0 or 3.5 GPA in school, hands down. I respect that man with the utmost because a lot of people don't think about that. I think a lot of people more focus on each one going to the next level and not focus on the fact that he has a full ride where he's an academic All-American, making honorable grades every semester. And I think people fail to realize that. I wish him well in whatever he chooses to do, but I know he'll do well in anything. I mean, I have the utmost confidence in the young kid. He's doing exceptionally well at Purdue.
Gotcha. One thing that I want to cover is that, including myself, a lot of athletes don't complete the process of playing high school ball, going up to college, and getting a degree. Um, a lot of us, including myself, go off to school 2 3 years, come back with an excuse, and we allow the streets to take us over. A lot of cases. And I'm saying this because I'm proud of Etwan myself, but he's sort of glorified because of all the other failures. Where I think it should be expected you should go to college and get a degree and make it. What you feel about that comment?
Well, just to comment on the kids nowadays, going off to school for 1 to 2 years and coming back home. Again, I think I stated earlier, there's just so much influence. Growing up in Northwest Indiana, first and foremost, a very, very political area, and politics has driven this area for quite some time. These kids nowadays are so much influenced by outsiders, by different coaches, with the AAU program and coaches, their own coach at school. You know, it starts at home. I think it starts at home. It starts at home. Being, you have to have direction at home. I think a lot of kids don't appreciate getting an education. I always tell people a lot of times we fail to realize that no matter where you get your degree from, no matter where you get that degree from, it's still a degree. It doesn't change. I think a lot of the kids are so caught in seeing Duke University compared to IUN, Indiana University Northwest. Whether you get a scholarship in any one of those institutions, you can go anywhere you want. I think a lot of the athletes don't recognize that, and they don't see it until they become adults. But again, I believe that it starts at home. And it starts at home, and it starts with a lot of these kids being influenced by a lot of outsiders. AAU program, we didn't have that as kids. So the only influence we had was the kids were our coaches at school, who were very concerned about us, who cared about us inside school, outside school. I do believe that there's just not enough people right now. Well, sorry, I take that back. I think there's too many people involved trying to influence a kid and what he needs to accomplish and what he needs to do. Where I think we need to have one coach and make sure that he understands. With East Chicago, with Abe is doing an exceptional job. But I feel that we just need to have one coach involved with all these players, not several coaches, because there's so much animosity among these AAU coaches and high school coaches because they're influencing these kids and telling them, they're feeding them or misleading them into believing that they can conquer the world and end up failing because of they misled them in the wrong direction. And it's sad because our people suffer more than anything.